roughly, how long does it take you guys to respond? If we get an overflow situation, something like that, how long does it take for you to respond if that unfortunately were to happen?
I'll defer. I think we've asked that question within the 24, 48
Within
hours.
24 hours. So our operation and maintenance folks are on call 24/7, 365. So if there is an issue, they will respond within 24 hours. We will be creating an operation and maintenance manual for each of these basements that will specify how often they need regular maintenance and what needs to be done on that. So those will be in place as soon as these projects go live.
Now, we passed something a while back when we got, what was the amount of money that we got from that?
Yeah, I think you may be addressing the community cost share.
Yeah, right.
That again, and we understand the confusion that came at the same time.
Mhm.
That's a separate issue.
Okay.
It's broadly related, but it's separate.
It's a completely separate program, completely separate project.
And some of those questions you're asking were answered in their paperwork.
Yeah, but I'm just, for the public, I have the right to ask the question.
Nobody said you have a right, I'm telling you no.
Okay.
And one other added benefit, if I may.
Go ahead, Joey.
Yes, it's just the fact that, there are a lot of vacant buildings that will be coming down due to this project. We'll be adding valuable green space as opposed to vacant buildings across from the school or vacant buildings over at Page Avenue.
So, and this is my last. So, Joe, you live right next to it. You'll be okay?
Honestly, I think it's an improvement. And again, I think I've been careful, and we all have to come out here and say, no, we're, to oversell what this is. I'm not saying we're transforming the landscape of East Cleveland. That's not what we're proposing to do. But I do think that, as Jeff said, what you have currently in some of these sites in regards to vacant buildings, places where things are dumped, you have an entity in the sewer district that's going to come in, demolish these buildings, put in an attractive green space in these areas. We've heard the concerns of residents that, put something that's more utilitarian, put something that's going to bring in more money, things like that. And look, as someone who's from East Cleveland, I completely understand that concern. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is that the sewer district is here now. We're ready to do this project. This is something that's very real, and we think that it is an improvement over what's in the area. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Hopefully, a dilapidated building that can be an attractive nuisance for some negative things that we're eliminating. And so, again, not to come in as some sort of savior at all. That's not what it is, but we do think that this is a benefit to the community.
Joe, anything in the same vein in terms of anything you want to add in terms of the safety factor? Would you live there?
Absolutely. And I was just going to say that many new developments are required to manage their stormwater. And so you can see at your condos just down the street, they have their own bioretention feature on a much smaller level, granted, than what we're planning to do. But stormwater management is required for all new development.
And I hear the chuckles in the crowd, but the fact of the matter is, before I moved back to East Cleveland, I lived in Columbus, and I lived right next door to one. It was one of these large retention ponds in a condo development, doing the same type of work, and I lived right next to one. I'm standing here, I'm fine. So,
and that one was different. That was a pond where it had standing water. These will not have standing water.
And your last comment on it from my questions, what would you say?
Right. Yes, I believe that they will be more attractive than the abandoned buildings that are in place right now at most of these sites. They will be safe with the fencing we are installing, and hopefully there will be some use of the public green space that we're providing, as well as the walking path that will be around each of these basins.
Are we the first city to get the 4-foot fence? Or have other entities got?
None of our other green
So we
infrastructure
the only ones
projects have a
getting the
fence.
fence.
You are the only one that is going to have.
Council and the Council Board of Education.
Okay.
Councilwoman Graham, you had a question?
If we're not going, if we're going in order, then. I just wanted to point out that we're giving a chance for our residents to speak. Mr. Rashid, you have a question? Do you mind addressing?
Well, let's address ours first, and then we'll give them a moment. Okay. Go ahead, Barbara.
I don't have a question, but I do.
Sorry, Councilwoman Thomas. Sorry.
That doesn't mean nothing to me. I understand what you're saying, and that question that was asked by my colleague, which you live next to the basin. Naturally, I wouldn't expect you to say no. So that was a question that was really something that, and as far as you living in East Cleveland. I understand that all new building and construction has to have the basis. I understand all that. And as far as the information that's been dealt with, you getting the fences around here, that's what we were supposed to do, was asked by our residents to make sure that we sought protection for not only the smaller kids, but the larger kids too. And the school board had some concerns about theirs, which they're residents of the East Cleveland, and their concerns are also our concerns. So, and that's not why I'm not voting for that, because you can tell us that it's only coming from the rainwater, but everybody knows that in some time in life there can be catastrophes, like down in Louisiana. And in some parts of Louisiana, they was not expecting what happened. Like in Cambridge, they had never had anything of that sort happen. So when the rain comes down, or whatever happens, it's an act of God. So nobody can predict what's going to happen, and it will happen. And I'm not trying to be difficult at all. I'm just saying, you can't guarantee us that something will not happen. And I'm not looking for something to happen, because basically people are having problems as it is, and we don't need that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you coming back up, which I didn't think you needed to, but I appreciate you coming back up. But you have not convinced me, and maybe you convince all the others that we need to deal with this at this point. But I appreciate the fact that you.
May I ask my question? I'm gonna make a statement, a comment. Because I was out today riding around again looking at it, and I saw the Salvation Army going up. It looked beautiful.
Yes.
I saw the school right there. It's new. It looks beautiful. And then I saw the abandoned building, door wide open where a kid could get pulled in and raped and murdered. I said that needs to go. I take my eyes on the fence around that in the water, and we'll have a building that's wide open for kids to be evicted. So that's where I saw it. It's my thoughts. Okay.
And I agree with you, Chairman, but that is something that can be fixed, and it should be fixed, and it should be fixed by the city. And if you saw all of that, it should be immediately taken care of and dealt with. Not just look and see that there's a fence around there. There is not a fence around there. That fence should go up within the next 2 days or whatever. We should be on it if you saw that. Thank you.
All right.
Any interest in time, because it's the first read, may consider having them write questions. So when we have the next agenda review, we can go through those questions. That way, we'll put them on the spot and answer all the questions. We did that before instead of, that'll be another.
I didn't.
I can't hear.